Welcome, all you beautiful, lovely people. Hope y'all are having an amazing night. My girlfriend is here, currently editing. Not really editing. There's not much I can do for the video to edit, but I'm gonna add an intro. This is what it's gonna be. This podcast was with this guy named Miguel. Definition of love is poison. He goes over his life experience and what leads to him being a homeless man on the street. Really cool guy. Honestly, I'm gonna have to reach out to him and try to find him again because there's one guy that like I would love to be friends with or just hang out with in general. It's this guy. Like, this guy's a cool dude. But yeah, hope y'all enjoyed the video. Hope y'all love it, and love, hope, and peace, guys. Also, do have new videos coming up. Hopefully, I'll be able to get a video on veganism soon. On Monday, I will try to go to the LGBTQ club at my school and see if anybody's willing to do an interview with me. And I'll just try to get as much content as I can for y'all. Oh yeah, and I do have an interview coming up this Tuesday with my coach Kimmer, and we're gonna go over what pushed them away from the school system, what made them essentially want to stop being a teacher. So I think that's a big part of why our school system is messed up. Sorry, it's the fact that he got depressed from being a teacher. But yeah, hope y'all enjoy these videos. Peace. All right, back with another interview. Would you like to introduce yourself, give your name, face, or you don't have to if you don't want to, like, it off record?
I mean, my name is Miguel, but I mean, name face-wise, it's okay.
Alright, yeah. If you'd like to introduce yourself? Yeah.
Miguel,
I met him here at the Garland Dart Station, my third interview of the day, hopefully my last, or hopefully I'll be able to get one more down the line, but yeah.
Yeah, should be good, man, hopefully.
I just like to hear about basically your life experiences, what your idea of a perfect world would be, and why you think the world is so messed up.
Okay, so first and foremost, I mean, yeah, this world's gonna be messed up regardless of how much we try to fix it. And me being recently homeless, and kind of seeing like all this stuff that I've gone through. I was in the military for a few years, deployed to Afghanistan about one time. It's too much for me a little bit, And then I was just like, yeah, my mental state actually going down there wasn't as great as it should have been.
Yeah.
I was actually going through a divorce and then getting remarried again all at the same time. So it's kind of messing my head, And even that, it was just, getting to see live feed of things happening, people happening down there and stuff like that. But I mean, for the most part, I'm happy at the moment. I got 2 kids, with soon-to-be ex-wife, stuff like that, and life is all about perspective, really, for sure. I try to make the most of what I can. It's not much, but I mean, I can still manage, life, going to like plasma here and there whenever I can. I stay around from the wrong people, but my energy is kind of like, you can kind of sense when somebody's kind of off.
And you know to push away from that.
Yeah. So I'm like, I'm good, dude. Not for sure, but I mean, for the most part, man, all I can say is, with life happening and, like I say, people are always like, and they say this too, like people are always like 1 paycheck away from being homeless. So like I said, it's and then like, I guess humanity these days is like, we're all attached to our phones.
We're revolving around money and
technology, and as well as, social media as well. So we delved into like the whole social media repertoire, like having to actually, go outside and like,
do something, live your life. You rather just be on your phone.
Be personal with people, and talk to them, because you never know, like that smile or that handshake
make a change,
hey,
man.
Yeah, bro, like they could have needed that like all day, and they're just like on their last leg, and they're just like, bro, like I'm just tired of people walking past me. I'm not a bum. I'm a human being, first and foremost.
That's what I've been telling people, that we need to. You got it.
Oh, you're good, bro. But I mean, even though like I am homeless, and whatever the case may be, I've met a lot of other homeless people. You know how many homeless people I've met with iPhones, which baffles me, bro. And you wouldn't even know they're homeless at all. And they're like, yeah, I work a job, but I just sleep on the street sometimes. Or like, I'll go to the gym and take a shower, and and they work their way around of not having to pay rent.
Honestly, I respect that a lot. Yeah.
I was looking at it that way, and I was just like, that's a good way to do it. I mean, if you're homeless. So I mean, me, like recently, like I said, I'm applying to jobs and stuff, and at the moment, I just have Wi-Fi, you know, for my phone number and stuff. So I mean, it's kind of hard for me to get to like one place to another. Like if I go down to McDonald's, like cool, there's Wi-Fi, but then I gotta eat and stuff. And then, you
On the way back here,
walk here, you know, they might call me or whatever the case may be. So I mean, but at the same time, I'm still trying, like as a person, as a human being, you know, like I have 2 kids, man, you know, and yeah, man. I mean, honestly, I'm not putting that side on blast. You know, it is what it is, man. I don't attribute to malice. I don't really, you know, I let it go. I'm a bigger person letting it go.
It's an important step towards, you know, I think you said that, you know, perfect world is perspective and everybody has their idea of their own perfect world. I think that if we get enough people's perspective of a perfect world, we can at least get the baseline for a perfect world. Because I think that's essentially what a utopia is. It's not, you know, getting indoctrinated into one system. It's giving people the freedom to choose their system, giving people the freedom to grow as, you know, I like to think it's like planting a seed. You know, you carry your nurture for that tree and eventually that tree grows up, right? But why do you think the world is so, you know, revolving around technology right now? Why do you think, you know, homeless people have it, you know, people don't feel like buying homes anymore. They rather live on the streets or, you know, sleep under a bench than get an apartment. Why do you think that is?
Capitalism, man. Everything's so expensive.
Everything's around money, right?
Yep. Everything revolves around money. Money is the root of all evil.
And that's what I've learned. That people, you got it, man.
I don't know, man. Like, I feel like too, like, you know, like, yeah, money is capitalism and all that stuff is still going to be like, you know, but at the same time, think about it yourself, you know. They say like, oh, well, humans are technically already AI because most humans you see days, you know, like these days are like attached to their phone, like, and technically you're a cyborg if you have that connected to you. If that's just your like,
if that's part of your life,
yeah, that's your incentive, like all day, every day, just scrolling like through, you know, BS and stuff like that. You know, it's, and then you become numb to people like me, like homeless people, like, you know, like
you see them as less human,
and I've ran into actual homeless people who think they're better than other homeless people, and I'm just like, what the hell, like, oh, okay, like
we come from the same cloth, man.
It's, I don't know, man, things like that baffle me, but for sure, I mean, with all that happening, I feel like maybe just more the fact that you know, we're kind of leaning more towards technology, like I said, I mean, in a sense, it's desensitizing everybody, you know, like nobody acts human, like you just coming out here today just to like, you know, get a perspective on people who were like living out here and stuff like that. Like me, like I said, like I'm looking at all these other homeless people like wearing like Nike clothes and stuff like that, you know.
Like you don't need that.
Yeah, no, you don't. And I'm living in a homeless shelter, you know, and they're like, you know, they wear Nike and they wear like name brand stuff. Like me, I'm just like, dude, I just, you know, got these.
Ross had these for like 2 years. I got this thrifting.
Yeah,
it's not.
I got this shirt thrifting. It was like $6.
Exactly, man. I just went thrifting right now. I think I spent like maybe, you know, $20 on a pair of clothes. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not. I mean, my shoes. I mean, yeah, I understand, but I'm flat-footed, so it's easy for me to wear these. You know.
Yeah.
And I got these for my birthday actually. So
that's sick, man.
I just kept them. And I keep my stuff.
Yeah, they look nice. Yeah.
Clean, yeah. So. But yeah, man, I mean, for the most part, I don't really need much out here. Like, you know, like I said, I donate plasma here and there, you know? Mm-hmm. So it gives me at least a room, like, here and there, so I can, like, go and, you know, relax, distress, you know, and then just, you know, take a shower and then start the day again and just, you know, and I'm not out here begging for money or anything like that. Like, I talk to people like to talk to me. They're like, bro, like, you're cool. I'm like, thank you. And then, like, 9 times out of 10, you know, because I talk to people and
it makes them feel better.
Yeah, that too. And then they hand me money, and like I said, I mean, you can't take all that stuff with you when you die either, you know. So I mean, at the same time, I appreciate the hell out of it. I appreciate when I take a shower, when I get to, you know, eat something hot, you know, and when I appreciate the small things. That's not even small to me. That's big, you know. Me being a person, like, you know, being recently homeless, so that's a lot, you know. It's being more appreciative and more grateful of the things that you have that you don't have. I mean, I don't need a, you know, Rolls Royce. I don't need a Ferrari. I don't need, you know, an Audi. I mean, you get me a plane, little Toyota car, like A to B car. It doesn't even have to be like, modded or whatever the case may be. I mean, as long as it gets you from point A to point B, like,
That's all that matters.
I'm okay. Like, I still have, food on the table for my kids. I still have money in my bank account. We can go have fun and not have to worry about all this, materialistic things as well,
So is that what your perfect world would be? No name brands, no nothing like that. Just be people buying stuff because they like it, or doing stuff because they
for the most part, yeah. I mean, social media is, like I said, it's kind of made people deranged with the whole materialistic aspect of things, and it's just like, yeah, I get it. Like, you want that wealth, you want to show off, and this, and that, but
it's impersonal.
Yeah.
It's
like,
just
why?
Putting yourself on a higher pedestal.
Like, why would I, like, if I were to buy this shirt for like $40, and then I thrifted it for $6, then why would
Why would you pay the $40 to
Exactly.
initially get it just because someone wore it a couple times? Yeah. It's like
I wouldn't care.
that's what I've learned. I've learned that people kind of have their morals in the wrong place. That people don't enjoy the finer things in life. Everybody revolves around money, and I think that's why we have so much problems in the world, because people revolve around money.
Yeah.
I think that the government should be an institution in place for the people. That's what they say about the U.S. government.
Supposed to be.
It's supposed to, but it's
And
not.
it's written in the Constitution that if the government were to oppose the people, then
People have the legal right
to, overthrow the government. And I don't know why we haven't done that yet. All this pedophilia shit going on, and you got pedophiles running the world and stuff like that. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, what the hell is going on? Like, and like me too, being a father of like 2 kids, like, why aren't we getting all these parents? And just because they're all blind to the fact that, not even blind, they just don't want to make it an issue.
Mm-hmm.
But lo and behold, you got family members and pastors and all these people,
in the wrong
shit,
thing,
doing shit to your children and to other people's children, and you just like bat an eye, and I'm like, okay, like, nah, dude, that's grounds for like, you're in the grave now doing that shit. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, people bat an eye and they just don't want to like think about it, or they don't want to fucking care about things like that.
I think it's important for people to view the world, to set the morals in the right place. Like you said, whenever you have anything warm come to your plate, like, be grateful that it's warm, because it doesn't have to be warm. I've learned that. I'm grateful for that I had a happy childhood, because I didn't have to have a happy childhood. A lot of people don't have a happy childhood, and a lot of people, like, even because of our actions in America, because everybody likes their shoes or their comfort, there are kids across the world that are working in sweatshops and slave labor that literally are born into and I think even my iPad, like, we can't get away from it, but it's the fact that I think we've built enough and we've done enough that we have enough technology in the world that we can put it to the right use, and we don't have to keep innovating technology. We don't, at least for the sufferment of others. I think that if anybody wants to be a tech expert, they should go into the tech expert. They should know how to make an iPad, and they should be the ones that are making iPads. And it's like, instead of making someone that is lesser, or doesn't have money, or comes from a third world country, do it for you. Do it yourself, man.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and then the tools are right there too. Like, hey, you want to make your own iPad? Here's a kit.
Yeah.
And if you want to buy more kits, then you make them and you sell them to other people.
And I think that's what the U.S. government should be. It should be it should be based around small businesses. The U.S. government should be feeding into people's creative arts or creative abilities or abilities to start a business. And then it's like, here's your starting kit. Here, you want to start a farm? Here's like an acre of land. Here's some, good fruit trees. If you take care of that, you can sell that, make a profit. You don't have to pay us back.
Yeah.
It's, you're living. And I think the biggest issue is that government officials have not become public workers. They have become a status of elite. They're elite. They're elitists now, and it's the fact that they have the opportunity to invest in stocks. They have opportunities to make more money and to like corrupt themselves or break their morals to get more money. That they're gonna do it. And the ones that won't do it are the ones that we never hear about, that get shot down. JFK.
Yeah, dude.
Best way to put it, man.
Prime example, JFK.
That's honestly one of the things that put me on this path, is hearing about the JFK assassination and the things that just escalate after.
It's not a conspiracy until it's proven, right?
Yeah, and it's crazy because I think the biggest issue in the U.S. is the fact that we run around corporations, or that our economy is based on big businesses, Walmart,
That too.
Yeah, it's when you go to the very top, the same two people own everything, and then it kind of trickles down from there, and it's just one big corporation at the end of the day. And I think that the U.S. government should be public workers where they make no more than a middle class. Where you go into you go into the government and you're accepting the fact that you're doing it for the helping of others and for the helping of humanity. You're not making much money. You're just having an easy, simple living lifestyle. And I think that this would feed into people's creative arts, because that's a beautiful thing that humans have. We can create art. We can create something from nothing.
Yeah, that too.
And I think that the more we fit into this, the better it's going to be, and the more we can build up society. I think that it's been such a thing of yin and yang, where we have to do something bad to get something positive at it, because it's human nature. You do something bad.
It's balanced, but at the same time, it's like
disruptive.
Yes.
And I think that we've gotten to a point where we're not even balanced anymore. We're just doing so much bad and trying to get so much good out of it that we're not even getting good at this point.
Yeah.
We're just hurting the people. And
I'm saying, I'm sorry to interrupt.
You're good. You got it.
But like I said, I'm saying, me being recently homeless, and I go up to people and I ask them for the time, or hey, do you know when this bus is gonna get here, or whatever the case, and headphones on, just blaring, and I'm just and I've tried to get their attention multiple times, not snap at them obviously, but hey,
yeah.
I didn't even snap at them. I'm hey, wave at them in front of their face. I ask them something and they still ignore me, and I'm just bro, I'm not asking you for money. I'm not asking you for any handouts.
Just trying to get the time.
Yeah, trying to get the time. Even your time to give me the time. It doesn't make sense to me. And then, like I said, people treat you like they just walk past you you don't matter, and it's just bro, we're all here on this planet. We're on this rock.
We're all just humans.
Yeah.
That's the best way I put it. Because I've been reading the Bible. How throughout the Bible they refer to God as He and man.
Yeah.
I learned that essentially it means more of human.
Yeah.
It's more of perspective of humanity as a whole, instead of just being a male dominant society.
Yeah, and that's what they say too. We are all God. We're His children. We are the eyes through Him which He could see. And people don't realize that we are all God. People oh, I hate God, this and that. And I'm just
it's because they don't understand Him.
Yeah, they don't. And it's just at the end of the day, like I said, you have to realize that you were a spitting image of Him, and you were living through Him and what He's allowing you to do. So you hate the guy that is pretty much, in a sense, you hate yourself.
And I think that's the biggest issue. You say that people are so attached to their technology or ignore people so much.
Yeah.
I think that it's because everybody's in their own world, and everybody essentially hates themselves. They hate some form of themselves. They hate the fact that they're not perfect. They hate the fact that they have strengths and weaknesses, and they focus on the weaknesses instead of focusing on their strengths.
It's all the insecurities, and that's what I'm saying. Social media is allowed
feeding into that. Yeah. And I think it's the fact that I think if someone always looks at their own insecurities and looks at their own problems, that they're always going to look at somebody else's insecurities or problems to make themselves feel better. And this is where negativity starts. It starts from inside of yourself. If you're unhappy with yourself, you're going to be sending negativity out there because you're unhappy with the world. Yeah. And I think that the most important thing we can do is I can tell you love yourself, man. I can tell you're a great dude.
Yeah, sure, man. I can tell you off topic too, what's happened to me in my life. What actually happened for me to be this way that I am, or be in this situation. I wouldn't even call it a situation. I'm happy, I'm good. But, had an ex-wife, tried to break up with her multiple times. I always came back because, she always kind of brought the kid into it, my daughter.
Yeah.
And I was okay, cool. And then I just kind of had it, she was working more than I was, and I was telling her I can get a whole lot better paying job. I used to be in the military working on UAVs, on drones. So
wow, so you're a smart guy, yeah.
So I used to do that, and so I was okay, cool. But me, I was vulnerable at the time, and I'm gonna say the whole dating thing online is it's crap, dude. The apps don't do that. And lo and behold, I used one of these apps, which I told myself not to. And so, I met up with her. I was vulnerable at the time, going through, actually, this is my second marriage. So I was going through a first divorce with one of the other females that I had, in my life. And I kind of fumbled that. She was a great woman. I'm not gonna lie to you. You know, and it was just me being, you know.
It wasn't time.
Yeah, it wasn't time for me. So I ended up, you know, getting with this female. The second one, you know, I met her when she was in college. You know, got out of the military. You know, she wanted to work, and I was just like, okay. So I became a stay-at-home, like, pretty much dad, you know, at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So I was a stay-at-home dad. But I kept begging her because you could only be in the house so much.
Yeah, you want to be free.
Yeah, so I was like, hey, like, do you mind if I, like, you know, and she's like, no, like, you have to work around me. And so I would get jobs where I would have to literally take my daughter to work with me, and she had never done a thing like that in her life, you know, or not in her life, but like from the time that we were together and we had, you know, our child, like, and me, I was taking my kid to work, you know, left and right, working like multiple jobs and stuff like that. And then at some point, you know, I just got tired of it, and then the ex was like, okay, well, fine, we'll hire a babysitter. And then me being human, you know, my love language is, you know, affection and intimate touch and all that stuff. So I always try to do that with her, and
she pushed it away.
Yeah, she never allowed me to do it, and so
it's human nature. You're gonna find it somewhere else.
So, lo and behold, babysitter, you know, I fell for the babysitter, and you know, we kind of clicked and stuff like that. So then, you know, she finds out, the ex finds out, ex-wife, and then, you know, she finds out, she kicks me out, and we're homeless at the time still. Like, we're in a hotel, but we're looking for a place, you know. So, she kicks me out. I go with the babysitter, you know, and we go and we find somewhere. She goes and drags my name through the mud and tells pretty much my whole family that I'm a sack of shit and this and that, you know. Babysitter, her family is very Christian, and so because she had sex with somebody who was married, adultery, you know, so they pretty much, you know, told her, like, you know, they didn't want to fuck with her either. So we were homeless together at the time. You know, we were jumping from like hotel to hotel and borrowing money from people or doing what we could, you know. And so we actually found this couple that took us in, and they live in the colony, and they took us in. Really nice people. They live by a lake, you know, and my girl got a job before I did as a babysitter, you know, and then we were working, and then like one day it was like, you know, place to take her lunch every day before I started working, so it wasn't the same. And then so, you know, she bought these little headphones and stuff, and I guess she was talking to like her ex dude back in Virginia. So she was talking to him while I was at work, while she was working, and then one day, you know, I come home and she's like, I don't want to be with you anymore. And so I'm like, okay, you know, and me living there with her made it uncomfortable, and we shared a room. So I was like, yeah, no. And then so I hit up my brother thinking he had his own place, you know. And lo and behold, the ex is staying with him, and they're together. Your own brother will do that to you, right? Fuck up.
Yeah.
You know, excuse my language.
No, you're good, man. I don't care. Right, cool. It's a real podcast, yeah.
Yeah, but my brother ended up, you know, getting with my ex, and then he wants to play Uncle Daddy and, you know, stuff like that. And that kind of like, it didn't bother me at first until like it got weird because they started being more affectionate. And I was like, where was this shit at whenever I was with you, you know?
Honestly, if I'm being honest, your ex sounds like a bad person. It sounds like she was unhappy with herself and she put that onto you, and that's why she's
doing it to him now.
Yeah, she made your life shitty, and now she's using him to do it to you, and now she's gonna do it to him. It's a cycle, man.
It repeats itself, and I told him too. I'm like, if you want that, dude, go ahead and have it. And then, like, you know, I'm sitting here finding pregnancy tests or like Plan B stuff, like in the trash can, and I'm like, wear a condom, dumbass. I mean, dude, you're literally like taking care of my kids with her, with me around. Like, how does that make any sense? You know, like why would you go and have another kid?
Yeah, it's like you can barely handle this one. Why are you gonna try to get another one?
I had two, so it's just like, because diapers and formula, man.
That shit ain't cheap, yeah.
Hell nah, dude. And so yeah, that ended up happening, and then my brother and I, like, it kind of boiled over a little bit, so I let it steam up, and it did bother me, you know. At first it didn't, but it did at the end, and you know, my brother and I, we fought and stuff like that, and you know, and I let him hit me. I let him whoop my ass. Why? Because
You're a good person.
yeah,
You're a good person. It's that simple.
I
Bro.
don't need the revenge or anything like that. And then lo and behold, the cops were called, and I got a charge for assault. And I don't know about you, but I mean, this happened recently. My knuckles aren't bruised or anything like that, and
You look fine, man. Yeah.
exactly. And I'm just like, nothing happened to him. He didn't have any bruises and shit. So I mean, like I said, dude, it's just you got to look out for even your family sometimes, because those will be the biggest nicks in the grass too. Sometimes, you know.
I get it, man. You want to hear about my history with my brother?
Sure.
My brother was in and out of prison from the age of 12. He had a rough childhood, so I didn't see him most of my childhood.
Yeah.
I had about a month with him when I was in kindergarten, but you know those memories are kind of blurry. He used to, I'm not gonna say beat me, but he used to play rough with me. You know, it was brotherly love, but he was a grown man and I was a kindergartner, so he used to get a little too rough sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and eventually he goes back to jail, I think for I don't know, something dumb. But recently, whenever he came out drug addict. He came out on crack. And this is kind of like what woke me up to how bad the world is. The fact that, you know, I come to find out that the government was the first person that put crack in the U.S.
Yeah, back in the 60s.
Yeah, back in the 60s, and, you know, the whole war on drugs. But it woke me up to the reality that, you know, the world really is fucked up, and there is some fucked up shit out there. And my brother, it gets bad enough to the point that my brother beats my mom. He quite literally, like, best way I can put it, he lost his sanity, and he did not view my mom as his mother, and he tied her up. He was gonna, you know, we thought he was gonna try to, you know, kill her, right? And so my mom gets out of there fine, calls the cops, and he gets arrested. But whenever he came out of prison, he wasn't on drugs, he wasn't on crack, and I could tell that he had been a different person. That on crack, he felt like an animal. That's what I looked at whenever I looked at him. I saw the eyes of an animal and the eyes of a beast, and you know, it's like whenever you look at an animal can go like that anytime. You know, you do one wrong action with a tiger, and that tiger's gonna maul you alive, right?
Yeah.
And that's how I felt with him. But whenever he came out of prison, I saw the same eyes, but they looked different, where he didn't want to hurt anybody. And I realized that my brother fell victim to drug use and the fact that, you know, crack is physically addictive.
Yeah,
and that it's something that you can't break free from. It's like the best way I can put it. It's like being possessed by a demon.
Yeah.
You know, it's something that you're going to continue to go back to, continue to crave, continue to do, despite it killing you. And so after seeing all this, it kind of woke me up to reality, woke me up to that world's not perfect, and it made me think, you know, the best way we can fix the world is by building a perfect world from one another. You know, the Constitution.
For sure. Everybody's perspective.
Yeah, and I think the Constitution, you know, it says that, you know, we as a people have the right to, you know, invoke and write out, overthrow. I think it's not about overthrowing. I think it's about not playing the game of life, not playing the game of society, not playing the game of politics, not playing the game of going to work. Because think about it, these people just stop driving right now. Gas industry, if we all start driving for a week, gas industry would punch. You know,
Even it would take like literally half a day.
Half a day. Exactly, and it's the fact that we have the ability to kind of just stop playing this game of nasty, icky life where you have to break your own.
It's like a continuous game of Monopoly, dude. Like, really, I mean, that's all it is. It's Monopoly.
Until you die.
Yeah.
And not everybody wants to play Monopoly, man. Some people are waking up and are, like, you know, the fact that you said that a lot of people are willingly living on the streets, it's evidence that people just don't want to play Monopoly anymore. People want to live freely. They don't want to be playing a game. They want to live life.
Dude, I've met so many people that I thought are not homeless, and they end up being homeless. They're like, "You homeless too?" And I'm like, "Yeah," like, you know. So it's just weird, and they're like, "You don't look it," and like, well, you know,
we just don't want to be.
We're all living here, you know. You living here too. You prisoners too. We're all, you know, you're all just like us.
Slaves to the system.
Yeah, everybody, you know, y'all are like us, regardless if you have a car or not. You know, regardless of you have a better job than somebody else or not. You're still playing the fucking game. You're like us.
And even if you're not playing the game, you're still feeding into the game by, you know, essentially, you know, you're still moving pieces in the game.
For sure, man.
Yeah.
We're still moving pieces. I mean, we're pawns at a small level, but, you know, as the homeless community, like I can say, they have it smart, man. You'll see a homeless person walk around, you know, and then not even know that they're homeless. And then food stamp card in their pocket, you know, they got a place to stay, they got like multiple meals a day to have.
They're living life. They just choose to live it on the streets because they don't want to be a part of society. I found it crazy that LA has an underground homeless society that has been there for like 5 years.
Yeah.
And it's essentially people that have been rejected by society so much that they started their own society underground, like
Yeah.
in the sewer system.
It's like the Untouchables. Yeah.
And I think
If you've heard of the Untouchables, you know, in history.
I'll look it up when I get home just to make sure I know. But yeah, I think it's crazy because whenever you look throughout history, you know,
It's a good thing though.
yeah,
You look shit up that you don't know because people don't do that. They like to speak out their ass.
yeah, shit.
Like, all right. Like that's what I learned in the military. No, Sergeant, I don't know, but I'll tell you the answer later. You go look it up. As opposed to just being like,
Yes, sir.
yeah.
What the fuck does it mean? I don't know.
Well, not even that. It's just more being bigoted. Like if you were to, you know, if you were to just be like, you know, somebody asks you a question and then you don't know the answer, so you just bullshit the answer, as opposed to be like, nah, bro, like I don't know it. I'm gonna look it up and then I'll tell you the answer to that later. You know, like why not?
Yeah, I get it, man. I like to think that the homeless people, whenever you said that untouchable, I think about the fact that like in history, there's always the homeless, or there's always the people in slavery, there's always the farmers that don't make much money, and these are like the people that the elites sell away, or these people that the elites get rid of. I'm taking African American studies, and we were learning about the West African trade, and I found it insane that, you know, the kings would essentially get their poorest people and sell them to the European countries to get more weapons to create more war. It's like we're just feeding into each other's negative habits in hope of getting power, but who needs power?
No.
Like
I mean, it does. Like that's what I'm saying too. Like governments are meant to be ran
for the people. Yeah.
It, you know, it just. I mean, it makes no sense to me. Like, you know, like all this shit happening. You know, and like there's times where I run into like cool people. Like, you know, I've had a lady. You know, she gave me $100. You know, I didn't even ask for money. Another lady, she's from Korea, just because we talked and she's a school teacher, you know, she gave me $75 for a room one night. You know, like I get lucky like here and there, but I'm not like, you know,
you're not entitled to that luck.
No,
you don't expect it. Yeah.
No, I don't. And I just, you know, me being a people person, like us doing this right now, just like that's cool. It's cool as hell, like, you know, because you really don't find people who are just like, you know, you go up to somebody and they're just like, nah, like fuck off, like
I'm telling you,
get
man.
on my face, like, oh, okay, dude, like.
I think, and see, what I realized with these people is that if anybody honestly is that bad of a place, it's either up to you to be like, all right, man, like, do you want to talk about why you feel that bad, or is, you know, just walk away and be like, all right, fuck you too, then, you know.
Yeah.
It's like instead of just sitting there and harboring that negativity and going back and forth, just be like, all right, you know, walk away. Yeah.
That's like sometimes too, like, you know, I don't smoke cigarettes, but you know, it's a little bit of my hustle where I ask somebody here and there if they have a cigarette, and I'll bag it, you know, and then somebody's like, I'll give you $1 for a cigarette.
It's a good hustle, man. I ain't gonna lie.
Sorry, like, you know.
You need to make a living somehow, yeah.
And I mean, I feel bad at the same time, but at the same time, I'm like, well, I mean, if they're that nice enough and willing enough to give me a cigarette, then
they would give it to anybody, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, too, I've given and I've done so much for people that I don't feel like, I mean, I deserve to, you know, give people, you know.
If you feel like you know, if you need something, when it comes up to essential to like living, or if you need something to live, like water or something like that, you're gonna, you know, have to get it.
Oh yeah.
And you're entitled to get that, yeah.
And I mean, and that's not me being negative on like the whole homeless community, because I sold a cigarette yesterday for $1, but I mean, it's a hustle. It's still good. It's, you know, I got a ticket, you know, for tomorrow. Like I got $3 in my name at the moment until I go donate plasma, and then I got another $90, and I can give me a hotel, go buy me, you know, some detergent. I got my laundry in here. I gotta go, you know, do my laundry and shit, and then it's on to the next day after that, after I wake up, you know. So, and don't get me wrong, like I do have a phone, like I said, and I've been applying to jobs and stuff like that.
But it's a struggle.
Yeah, just because I don't have a solid address, and my phone numbers just ran off of Wi-Fi. So
yeah,
that's the only like issue that I have. So, I mean, for the most part, though, I mean, it's, you know, it's not bad. Honestly, I don't mind it.
You just.
Nah, bro, I don't.
Yeah, sorry. You stay in the area? Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, by the way, people that didn't hear that, some guy just asked us for a cigarette. It's kind of funny, yeah.
I'm telling you, dude.
He should have asked you if you had it for sale, too.
It's like that, dude, out here. You gotta learn to survive a little bit out here, you know? Like, if you haven't been through survival mode, then you can't live. I mean, honestly, you've just been comfy your whole life. who's to say, 9 times out of 10, like I said, you're one paycheck away from being homeless. And then let's say, for instance, it was you, and then you'd be like, you would kind of learn the rules here and there. It would take you probably about, just depending on your survival ability and, just being like that. Like I told you, like, I collect cigarettes to sell them later.
Someone's gonna ask, yeah.
So that's, like I said, like, you gotta be smart, like, when you're out here, like, that's...
This is what street smarts is, yeah.
And that's, the one tip I will give you is just, it's more the fact that, well, let me see, because I'm a nice person, and then people are like, oh, is that a heart tattoo real? I'm like, yeah, dude. And like, why'd you get it? It's like, because it's all love, bro.
Love, hope, peace, man.
Yeah, see, exactly.
Love,
exactly, bro. Yeah, like, even like this shit, like, you were like, oh, I love your tattoo, and like, I love your heart tattoo. Is it real? I'm like, yeah, dude. But, they ask, like, why'd you get it? Like,
because it represents who you are.
Yeah, it's all love. I mean, you don't see no, like, little, waves down it. Like, it's not like, a broken heart. It's just, it's all love still, regardless, Like, last night I got lucky, there was some cop last night that actually saw me charging my vape, and then he asked me what it was. And I was like, I don't know. Tested it, I guess, or whatever. I don't know if cops can do that. But he told me it was THC, and I was like, I don't think so. And then he's like, you get lucky tonight. And he took my charger and he took my vape. It wasn't even that. It was that, what is it, the CBD stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and he took it, and I was just like, okay, like, and he's like, you're lucky tonight. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I'm just gonna take it. But stuff like that, it drives me nuts, dude. Like,
I don't get why, because at the end of the day, I feel like that cop probably just had a power rush. That's what it was.
Yeah, it's probably what it was.
And I just don't get the fact that we have, government servants that have power rushes, that want to be in that position, that want to have that gun on them, that want to be able to, go 90, 100 down the highway, and nobody else be able to.
I saw that shit earlier too with the Garland police. Like, they're just like speeding along, like right behind each other, then busting into you, and like, I don't know if they're racing or trying to catch up to each other, but I mean, if I was a cop, I'd be like, hey man, like, you're gonna be held accountable too. Don't act like your shit don't stink, but I'm gonna hold you accountable because you're speeding. So the cops have the ability to pull other cops over.
They just don't, because
they're buddy and stuff, and because we're in the same,
we're in the same sink, or that guy from over there. I know. I'll just let you off the hook. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that's pretty much how it is, man. It's crazy, especially. But no, man, being homeless, actually, like I said, it's not too bad, dude. Honestly, I mean, it's really a community. Like,
honestly, if I'm being honest, my sophomore year at high school, I was thinking about, I started growing up, I started thinking about what I want to do in the future.
Yeah.
And at a certain point, I was like, man, I kind of just want to go to Europe, with about a grand on me, and just blow that money away and just live homeless over there. Cause like, I love the idea of being homeless because you're free, man. No one else can tell you what to do.
I mean, I have kids, granted. I mean, that's what I think about nearly the most. I mean, honestly, I'm not saying I don't want my kids, but like, if I had like nothing, I'd move to Europe. I always told myself, if life never panned out, I would just move to Tibet and just be a monk for some reason. And
because that's the peaceful life right there, man.
They don't gotta worry about shit. They get fed. They're fucking cool. Like, I can't, beat my meat off anymore, but at the same time, like, I'll be alright, dude.
You'll survive,
Yeah, like,
it ain't gonna kill you.
Like,
shit is better than,
But I'm just saying, like, like, that in a general sense, it's just like, it's peaceful, it's just like, be out in the cold and shit, like,
Honestly, I get it, and I respect you a lot, man. Like, for you to have, like, because I can tell you're a good person just from the fact that you were always willing to put your kids in front of, anything.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's like, as a parent, I get that that's what happens. Like, it's your kids. Your life revolves around your kids.
Yeah.
But, like, just talking to you, it feels like I'm talking to, like, let's say, a different version of myself, or someone that's lived a different life than me.
Somebody a little bit older than you.
Yeah.
I wish I could talk to my older self or my younger self and just be like, don't do this. Don't fall in love early. Focus on your academics. Join the Air Force, not the Army. Don't get married. That's first and foremost. Yeah. So, but like I said, I mean, I wasn't ready. My first marriage, I wasn't. I mean, and I fumbled her, man. I did. Like, good ass female. She cooked for me and shit like that, like to clean, and I just, you know, I guess me being in the military, you know, my testosterone and shit like that. So.
Yeah. It's because the military isn't a good place for people either. It dehumanizes you. It makes you feel like lesser of a man.
It does.
And yeah. And I realized that.
Here and there.
That's why people come out of the military like with, you know, mental issues and PTSD.
Anxiety.
Not only that, but just wanting to be a bigger person. You know, give me 20 push-ups right now. Like, bro, I'm in the middle of gym class. Like, I'm not. It's you just want to feel that.
Like you said, it's like a power rush too. Like for some of these military people, they get out and they think they know better.